We are going you just have to say something. So we're going to start in a child's pose today. So if that's not comfortable, then any other grounding position is fine as well. If you do want to use blocks or anything, then you can. There is a wide leg forward fold, so you might need it for that. But if you want to use it for your child's pose, please do, or lie down, whatever you want. Just get yourself comfortable. Maybe closing the eyes if you like. And just start to draw your attention inwards. So just coming away from whatever's going on in your day. Start to focus on your breath. And just allow the breath just to deepen naturally. As your breath starts to smooth out, beginning to notice your body, how it feels this morning. Maybe noticing areas of tension, tightness. Try and let that relax a little. So in today's class, we're going to do a practice in Yin Yang. So Yin Yang in Chinese culture just refers to the duality which exists in everything and every being. So really looking at the Yang practice, so the more kind of dynamic practice towards the beginning of class, and then coming into more Yin-like postures at the end. So just being aware of how they feel, how they make you feel, and just experiencing both of them really. So when you're ready, we are going to start to move a little bit. So you can just maybe walk your hands back towards your knees and come to an all fours position. So just when you're ready. And as you come into that all fours, we'll just have the hands under your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And we're just going to take a few cat-cow movements. So just when you're ready on the inhale, start to drop the belly and lift your chest. And then rounding through your back on the exhale. And just take your time. So a lot of our Yang type movements are with some kind of movement, so flowing rather than still. And they tend to also be a little higher off the ground, so the Yin type things tend to be a little lower towards your mat. Okay, when you're ready, come back into the center. Now we're going to start to move your right arm. So when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to lift the right arm up. So we're just going to stretch it up. And then on the exhale, we're going to take it under, but we're not going to stay there. So you're just feeding that arm under the other one. So we'll do that again. So inhale, like stretch up through your right arm. And then on the exhale, just taking it underneath. We'll do that one more time. So inhale, lifting and reaching it up, opening your chest. So the exhale as you take it under, we'll start to lay down now onto that right shoulder. So just take yourself down. And if you do want to, you could walk your left arm out to the front. So you kind of come up onto the fingertips of your left arm. Again, you don't have to. If it feels better to you where you are, then stay with that. When you're ready, we'll walk the left hand in so it comes underneath your face, and then start to press yourself back up again. So coming back into that all fours position, we'll just do that on the other side. As you inhale, start to open up through your left arm. And then on the exhale, we'll start to take it under. So just moving it with your breath. Just take your time. Just do that again. So inhale, reach and open. And then take it under. Again, we'll do that once more, just opening up just the way that it feels right. And then start to come in and lay your shoulder down. And maybe stretch your right fingertips away from you. And you could come up onto your fingertips or just stretch your arm away. It's up to you. And then just settle into it. Just resting into it. The weight of your body on your arm, just a little light compress. When you're ready, we'll walk that hand back in, so underneath your face, and then start to press yourself back up again. Now this time we're going to come in for Anahatanasana, so we're going to walk the hands forwards a little bit. And then just start to press yourself down. So just gently into that heart melting pose. So see how it feels. You could lower down, maybe your forehead can go down, maybe your chin can go down, but don't force it and just breathe into the back of your shoulders and your neck. Okay, when you're ready, we'll make our way back up again. So just coming back up, walk your hands in. So we've got have the hands underneath your shoulders. I'm just going to step forwards with your right leg this time. So you can just step it up towards the top of your mat. So you can have your hands either side of that right foot. Maybe slide the left foot back a little bit, but just see how that feels. We're going to come in for a little twist here. So we're going to keep the left hand onto the mat. Your right hand could go onto your right knee here, and then you could just use that to pull your chest round, or maybe you could reach up to your right arm. But again, you see how that feels as you come into it. Just work with what feels right, and try and let the hips sink down a little bit more. So let the hips drop. Okay, when you're ready, release that hand down, but bring it to the inside of your right foot. So we're going to come in for our lizard lunge. We're not going to stay in it for that long, but if you walk your right foot now out towards the edge of your right edge of your mat, and then just the hands to the inside of your right foot, and then maybe you bend your elbows a little bit, so maybe you sink down. Again, just see how it feels. If you want to stay a little bit more upright, then do that. You just have to work out where you feel the stretch and where you would like to feel it a little bit more. So a lot of so this is virgin, more on a kind of a yin pose. And a lot of the yin poses are named after animals. So this one is our lizard lunge. But there's lots of, trying to think of some of them, but they use a lot of animal names, lions. But try and feel the difference between when we move and when we try to settle into something. And with yin, I mean, you'd be here for like 5 minutes. We're not going to be here for 5 minutes. You'll be glad to know. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. So when you're ready, slowly start to just press yourself back up again. And you can walk your right foot now in towards the middle of your hands. So from there, we're going to tuck the toes under on the back leg, so the left leg, and lift the left knee up off the ground. And then from there, you could step back into a plank position. We are going to lower to the mat, so you could lower your knees first, and then just bend your elbows and lower yourself all the way down to the ground. When you're ready, keeping your hands by your shoulders, as you inhale, start to lift your chest, so drawing it up, the shoulder blades a little squeeze. And then on the exhale, just bend your knees and press back. So you can push back into a child's pose if you like. Just take a little rest right there. But I mean, if you want to, you can come into all fours and make some movement. It's really up to you. Okay, when you're ready, we'll move forwards to in that all fours position. So coming back in. And then this time we'll step forwards with your left leg. So just stepping it up towards the top of your mat. So again, we're doing the twist first. So we'll have the hands either side of that left foot and maybe slide your right leg back a little. We'll keep that right hand on the ground and your left hand either onto your left knee. So you can use that to draw yourself round, or maybe you can reach up with your left hand, but just see how that feels as you come into it. And just feel like you're kind of trying to stack your shoulders and open up through your chest a little. Okay, we'll release that hand down. So to the inside of your left foot this time, and then start to walk the left foot out towards the left edge of your mat. So just to where it feels right. And then maybe you could bend your elbows a little bit. So maybe you sink down, or maybe you stay higher up. So a lot of the time, you know, I could probably say where you're expected to feel a stretch, but where you feel it might not be that place. So where you feel it, and that's it. And in a more kind of yin type practice, it's harder to stay present. So we can practice that while we're there. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to come back up again. So just take your time and then walk your foot, that left foot, back and towards the center. So you've got your hands either side once more. And then from there, so you could just step back from here, or if you want to, you could tuck your toes and step to plank, really up to you. Lowering your knees to the mat, bend your elbows and lower down. As you inhale, draw your shoulders back, so lift up, so that little cobra. And on the exhale, we'll just start to make our way back. So you just press back into that child's pose again. When you're ready, slowly come forward, so just into that all fours position. And then from there, you're just going to walk your hands back towards your knees. So you're coming into kind of a high kneeling position. You can stay where you are, but I'm just going to turn around just so you can see what's going on. We're going to step your right foot out to the side. So we're just going to step it out. So we're coming into kind of a gate pose. And just maybe try and press down a little bit through your right foot if you can, get the little toe pressing down. So we're going to take a little side stretch. So we're going to take your right hand just down your right leg and then lift up and over through your left arm. So just stretching all the way through that left side body. Just breathing into it. So we're going down the right leg first of all. So the straight leg. With your right hand. We're going to do the other side anyway, it doesn't really matter. So inhale, come back up, and then we'll go the other way. So if you can, you're going to take your hand down towards the ground this time, and then reaching up and over, past your ear if you can. Very nice. Okay, we'll take one more inhale. Start to come back up, so just draw yourself up again, and then bring your leg in. So we'll do that on the other side. So again, separate your knees to their hip distance, draw your belly in, and step out with your left leg this time. So again, when you get there, if you can press the left foot down towards the mat. And then take your left hand, so just down that left leg, and then start to lift up and over through your right arm, stretching up and over to the side. Yeah, just breathing deeply. Okay, take one more inhale. Come back into the center, and then we'll go the other way. So we're going to take that right hand down towards the mat, and then reaching up and over past your ear. Okay, when you're ready, slowly come back up into the middle, and then bring your legs back in again. Then you can make your way back to an all fours position. So you're just going to come back in. As you come into this all fours, we're going to come into our first downward facing dog today. So we're going to start to tuck your toes and start to press the hips up. As you come in, you make the usual movements. So Just maybe pedaling out your feet a little bit or moving your hips a little bit. Just whatever feels best to you. Okay, when you're ready, on your next inhale, we're just going to lift your heels up and looking forward, you can take a walk or step up towards the top of your mat. So just take your time. And when you get there, separating your feet, you could just fold forwards towards your legs and maybe take hold of your elbows, whatever feels best to you. A nice stretch through the back of the legs or your belly in a little. And then when you're ready, slowly releasing the hands. On an inhale here, we'll start to lengthen forward through your spine. And then on that exhale, just folding back in towards your legs. On the inhale, reaching up, so rising all the way up. And on the exhale, we'll just draw the palms together, just in front of your heart. And just take a moment to see how you feel when you get there. So we are going to come in and do a tree pose for our balance today. So if you do want to use the wall at all, then please do that. Come off your mats. So we're going to stand onto your right leg. We'll spread the toes, bend the knee, and then maybe just taking your left heel just towards that right ankle. If you want to move the foot up, then moving it up towards the inside of your calf, or maybe moving that foot up towards the inner part of your thigh, but just wherever it feels like the best place for you. And maybe start just with the palms towards the center of your heart. Start to lower the shoulders a little bit. Start to focus your gaze, so wherever it feels steady. And notice your breath. And you can stay here with the hands here. If you want to, you could reach your arms up, but just see how that goes. So in any position for reaching your arms. So yoga is kind of an expressive art. We use our bodies and we put them into shapes, and each shape is individual. So with that steady gaze, and that smooth breath. When you're ready, we'll slowly come out of it. So just take your time, maybe bring your hands down first. So practicing that controlled movement out of it. And then maybe bring your feet back together and close the eyes for a moment and just notice the sensations you've created in your body and in your mind. Okay, we'll try that on the other side. So it's probably going to be different. So just accept that. So stand onto your left leg, spreading your toes, maybe bringing your right heel just towards the ankle. Just find a position that's right for you and move it up if it feels right. If it doesn't, then you just move it back down again. And that is the practice, of just accepting where we are and just being at peace with that. And then finding your drishti, finding your breath. And once you've done that, if you want to reach the arms up again, then do that. If you want to stay with the hands here, then do that. And you could have your arms narrow or wide, really up to you. And again, slowly and carefully, start to move out of it. Bring your feet back together. Hands together. Close your eyes. Okay. When you're ready, we'll release the hands, we'll open the eyes, we'll come up towards the top of your mat. So we're going to continue with our kind of more yang practice and do some standing postures. So and if you want to grab a block, doing a wide leg forward fold, so you might need that. And we will do a vinyasa to come into it, but you don't have to do that. You could just step back with your left leg to warrior one if you want. Otherwise, with me at the top of your mat, we'll spread the toes, relax the shoulders, and on an inhale, we'll start to reach up with your arms. So just take your time. On the exhale, just folding forward, so taking your time as you move down. Lengthen your spine on the inhale. And on the exhale, we'll take the hands down. You can either step straight back to down dog or move through plank. Bend your knees if you like, or bend your elbows halfway to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. And on the exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. So we're going to step the right foot up towards the top of your mat. So look where it's going. And we're coming to warrior one. So we'll spin the heel of the back leg and then start to rise up into that warrior one position. And just making sure when you get there that your feet, your legs are in the right position. And rotate the hips around a little bit and maybe reaching up with the arms. And you can always clasp your hands and take a little back bend here as well if you want to. You do not have to. Make sure the weight is in the center, so we're trying not to lean too far forwards. Good. And you should, or you could, feel this in the calf of the left leg. So you should get a really nice, strong stretch through the lower part of that left leg. If you don't, and you feel it somewhere else, then that is valid as well. When you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to start to move to warrior two. So just take your time moving around and find that warrior two and adjust your feet. So sometimes we can take a much wider step with the legs out, and sometimes that enables us to get deeper into warrior two. Not that you necessarily have to, but if you feel like you could and you want to, then, and it feels nice on the muscles, then do that. And then maybe turning the head towards your front hand. Think about the upper body. So open up through your chest a little. We're going to take one more inhale here. And then we're going to start to straighten your front leg. So we are moving into triangle now. So if you do need to hop your back foot in a little bit, or you would like to, then do that. Start to push away a little bit through your left hip and lengthen over the right leg. So keeping that sense of space as you come in. And just placing your arm where you think it should be without forcing and feeling that you have to get further down. The idea is to become more spacious, to create more space in the body. And remember, if you feel like you're kind of coming forwards, the idea is to pull back a little bit on that top shoulder and the top hip. And some people take it too far, so they pull the arm too far back, but it's just the shoulder. So the shoulder on the top should be in line with the shoulder on the bottom arm. Again, where does it feel right for you? Okay, we're going to take one more inhale. We'll slowly come back up again. So draw your belly and lift yourself back up, and then rebend your front leg. And from there, we're going to come into a high lunge position. So you probably release your arms, turn on the toes of your back leg, and then reach up with your arms. So just into that high crescent lunge. Relax your shoulders. Good. And the hips are still forward here. So it's a good practice to do a high lunge, because you can then feel what kind of warrior one should feel like with that heel down. Okay, from here, we'll just bring the hands towards the center. We are just going to step up towards the top, so you could bend into your back leg and step up towards the top of your mat. So as you come in, we'll just bring the feet back together and close your eyes for a moment and just see how that feels in your body. So how does the kind of more yang type postures feel? How do they make you feel? Okay, we're going to try that on the other side. So again, just keeping it nice and simple today. We're going to come back into the top of your mat, spread your toes and relax your shoulders. And as you inhale, we'll start to reach up. Again, maybe looking at your thumbs. On the exhale, folding forwards, take your time. Lengthen on the inhale. And on the exhale, either step back to down dog or take yourself to plank and take a vinyasa. When you get to plank, lower the knees or bend the elbows halfway. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. And as you exhale, make your way back, downward facing dog. Okay, so we're going to step forwards with your left leg this time. So you can look where you're going, step it towards the top. We're coming to warrior one again. So we'll spin the heel on the back leg and start to press it down. Again, if it's too far away, you hop it in and make sure you can get your shoulders and your hips round, and then maybe reach with your arms. Relax a little bit in the shoulders and the upper body. Maybe keep your hands apart or bring them together. Really, it's entirely up to you. How does it feel? Good. Maybe you don't even reach the arms up. Start to feel the balance in the posture. Start to feel, especially in the yang more practice, start to feel the energy and where you feel it is going. We'll take one more inhale and we'll start to move to warrior two. Take your time, just opening up through the body. Maybe you open up a little bit more through your legs, really up to you. How does it feel? It's more important to be safe, so make sure your knee is over your ankle and your front leg and it's not dropping in. But it should feel good as well. And pressing through the outer edge of your back foot. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to start to straighten your front legs. Again, we're moving to triangle, so maybe hop the foot in if you like. Start to push away through your right hip a little. Start to lengthen over that left leg. So create the length and then just gently move down to what you find there without force. You make sure the toes and the feet are still pressing down. So we use our feet a lot to ground ourselves, but remember also to push up out of. So we're not sinking into the mat, but we're using it to lift. And just watch your left hip. So you want your left hip drawing towards the middle, the inner thighs pulling towards one another. Well done. Take one more inhale. When you're ready, slowly come up again. So take your time. And then just re-bend that front leg. As you re-bend it, we're going to come into that high lunge again. So we're going to slowly turn around, lifting up onto the toes or the ball of the foot on the back leg. Let the shoulders drop down, maybe the hips drop down a little bit. Maybe you bend your back knee. Okay, so from there, we'll just bring the palms towards the center. And we're just going to step up towards the top of your mat. So take your time, bring your feet together, hands together, closing the eyes. Just notice how your body feels, how your mind is. Okay, release the hands, we'll open the eyes. So we're going to come back in towards the center. So we're just going to do our wide leg forward fold. So as you come into the middle, you can just step your feet out. So you can just take it to where it feels right to you. So how wide apart do you want your legs to be? Make sure your toes are either facing forward or slightly in. It's really up to you. And if you're using a block, just grab that block and have it beside you. And then as you inhale, we'll just start to reach up with the arms. And on the exhale, we'll fold forward. So you could maybe place your hands on your thighs. You don't have to come all the way down. If you want to, and you can, then release your hands and take them down towards the mat or to your block. And just see how it feels when you get there. So start to feel like it's a comfortable position. So it should feel comfortable. If it doesn't, then you just need to adjust things in your body to make it comfortable. So, bend your knees a little bit. We don't have to strive to get anywhere. We're just here. We're just where we are. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to move back up. So start to draw your belly in. Maybe you bend your knees. Take your time. Start to lift yourself all the way back up towards the top. And when you're ready, we'll just step the feet back in again. Right. Okay, we're going to have a little seat now. So we'll just take ourselves down. You might still need blocks. And if you do have any kind of cushions or anything you can use, we are going to do a little bit of yin, but we're not going to stay in it. So most of the yin postures we were told for kind of 3 to 5 minutes. We'll not be staying in them for that long, but you will stay in for maybe kind of 10 breaths. So you can just allow yourself, hopefully, to be a little bit comfortable and just see how they change how you feel. So we're going to start in Baddha. I'm going to bring the soles of your feet together. And again, you could use a block here. You could put the block between your feet. Sometimes that feels quite nice. Gives you something to press against. You can bring your hands onto your feet, and you could use your elbows here to press the legs open a little bit more. Or you could just not bother with that and just release yourself down. So keeping hold of your feet if you want to. Just relax the body down. So we start to draw ourselves in even more in our yin posture. So we start to be even more introverted. And it is harder to maintain our presence. So to maintain that connection with your practice. So we just have to try harder with it. So if you notice that your mind starts to wander off, then just gently coax it back. And keep using your breath. So the breath will keep us present. Keep noticing it. Allow it to deepen. And maybe create that ujjayi breath so you have that texture, that awareness of the breath. we'll take one more inhale here. We're going to start to move out of it. So just take your time coming back up. I'm going to widen the legs now. So we're going to take the legs pretty wide. As you do that, you might want to bend your knees. So see how that feels. And we'll sit up onto your sit bones a little bit more. And you could use a block to sit on here, but it's quite hard to sit on for a little while. So if you do feel that you're here and that you are sitting on the block, you can always take it out. And when you're ready, on an inhale, we're going to reach up with both arms. And then we're going to turn around towards your right leg. So just rotate your body around. And then we're going to fold forwards towards that leg. So as you come in, you might place your hands on the ground or on your leg, your ankle. Maybe you can take hold of your foot. Whatever you can. Make sure you're still pressing down on that left sit bone so it's not lifting to get further over. And then just try and relax into it a little bit more. So in a yin practice, we're trying not just to stretch the muscles, which we're doing throughout our yang practice all the time, but to stretch the fascia, so the connective tissue. And that takes longer to actually soften. So that's why we hold the poses for longer. And sometimes people like yin more and sometimes they don't. So it's really a preference. So but be aware of how it makes you feel, how it makes your body feel. Sometimes as you're holding it, your body opens up a little bit so you can literally feel it starting to release a little. Not all the time. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it clams up and you've gone a bit too far. But if you're patient and if you take your time and don't rush in too quickly, then sometimes it softens and lets you move in a bit further. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to come up. So take your time, just moving out of it. So there's an effect that we have in yin called the rebound effect. And it basically means that when you move out of it, there's another kind of reaction that takes place. So you're meant to kind of just absorb that before you move straight on to the next one. So just taking a moment just to see how that feels on that side. And then we'll move into the other side. So when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll start to reach back up again. And then start to rotate your torso round towards that left leg. And start to move in. Take your time, no rush. Ease into it. You can always move further, so you can always back off. You're not stuck with where you get to, so you just have to move in and then assess it and decide what you want to do. I've heard yin sometimes described as cosmetic dentistry. So if you're wearing a brace at the dentist, the movement of the teeth don't happen overnight. It's a lengthy process. It takes time. But subtly over time, the teeth change, as does your muscles and your fascia and yin in your body. When you're ready, we'll slowly start to move up. So again, just taking your time. There's no rush. See how that feels when you come out of it. Your legs will be starting to kill you now, but we're going to do one more because we're going to come down the centre. So coming down the centre, again, you can walk forwards. You can just walk yourself into it. You can prop yourself up. You can use a cushion or whatever. Or maybe you reach up. Really up to you. And then move into it that way. But just, where does it feel right to you? Another important aspect of yin is that you shouldn't be unsupported. So you shouldn't be kind of hanging around in the air. You know, you either use your hands or your arms or a bolster or a cushion or blocks. Try not to just be in midair. And although I've said that over time, your body will change and the muscles and the fascia will loosen, we have to also be aware of like our actual physical makeup might not allow certain positions or certain stretches ever to happen. It's quite annoying because some people who are like really bendy and flexible might have done yoga for 5 minutes and they could come in and probably make postures that we try and do for years and years and years without great success. They could do it in like, 5 minutes. And that means that then the important thing is not the asana, but the important thing is all of the other aspects and the benefits that yoga gives us. Else it would just be a place for people who had really bendy bodies, and that's not the case. Okay, when you're ready, we'll start to move back up. So take your time, make your way up slowly, feel that rebound effect, and then maybe bring your legs back together. That might feel a little bit better. You give them a little shake off. So we're going to make our way onto our back. We're going to continue doing another couple of kind of yin or held postures. So you can just make your way down, just onto your back when you're ready. And as you come down, just make yourself comfortable. We'll keep our feet flat on the floor and the knees bent as you come down towards the mat. And then from there, you're going to keep your left foot down. We'll lift the right foot up. So we're coming into a reclined pigeon. So we're going to place that right foot just onto your left thigh. And you might just stay here. You might just stay with your legs as they are in this kind of figure 4. If you want a little bit more, you could lift your left foot up off the ground. And again, you might just stay here. Or maybe move your hands behind the back of your left thigh. As you do that, you might want to slightly flex both of your feet. And then try to relax into it. So try to soften into it. So particularly through the upper body here, you don't want to strain it too much. And remember the qualities of yin are that we're kind of letting things develop. So we're not pulling too much, although you need to add a little bit. We're not grasping for anything. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to release this, but you're going to keep the cross of your legs. You can just release your hands and allow the left foot to drop back down. You can spread your arms here because we're going to take a little twist. So both of your legs are just going to drop over towards the left side. And as you do that, if it feels too much, uncross your legs. So just see how it feels. So quite a strong stretch on that right hip. Try and keep both shoulders on the mat here. You could turn your head if you want to the right, but see how it feels. When you're ready, we'll slowly come back into the middle. So just bring your legs back in. Release your feet. Have them flat on the floor. We're just going to move the legs just side to side. So just a little kind of windscreen wiper with the legs. So just very gently. And then just when you're ready, we'll come back in towards the centre. We'll just do that on the other side. So right foot down, left foot lifts and flex it and place it onto that right thigh. So again, stay here if that feels better to you, or lift your right foot off the ground. Maybe stay here. A little bit hanging in the air though. Or move your hands around the back of your right thigh. And again, a little flexion, not superly flexing your feet, but just keeping a little bit of activity in them so they're not just kind of hanging there at the end of your legs. Relaxing into the shoulders, relaxing the head and the neck. So the grip is firm but gentle. Keep moving back to the breath. So just noticing it. And noticing where your mind goes. When you're ready, we'll slowly release that. So again, keep the cross of the legs, but release your hands. Maybe spread the arms and allow the legs just to drop over towards the right side, and crossing them if you need to. And maybe turning your head to look along your left hand. When you're ready, we'll slowly move back towards the middle. So uncrossing your legs. Again, we'll take that little windscreen wiper so you can just move your legs just very gently side to side. So you come back into the centre. We're going to take the soles of your feet together again. So just into a reclined Baddha Konasana now. So just letting the knees drop open to the sides. Just rest your arms either on your hands on your low belly or by your sides. Maybe directing your breath towards your hands. When you're ready, we're going to bring the legs back together. So you can just use your hands, gently pressing them back in. And maybe draw your knees towards your chest here. And you can make any little final movements that you'd like. We are going to move into Shavasana next. So if you do want to put some socks on or a jumper or something, please do that. We're going to do a little Yin Yang meditation. I'm going to start it by just taking 3 deep breaths. And that's the typical beginning to most meditations, but just start to take these 3 breaths. And just consider that the inhaling of the breath is Yang. It expands the lungs and oxygenates the body. The exhaling breath is Yin energy, contracts and becomes denser with the release of the breath. We're going to start just by trying to activate our Yin energy. And to activate the Yin energy, start to envision the Yin as dark, heavy energy. It resides in the lower part of our body. So with each breath inhaled, send the breath to fill the lower abdominal region. So we're breathing deep into our lower bellies. And then try, as you exhale, to exhale it down your legs and to your feet. Again, inhaling deep into the low belly. And then on the exhale, imagine a breath moving down through your legs and out to your feet. Just continue this rhythm, and eventually your body should feel more weighted, more ground with the Yin energy. And when you reach these sensations, then you've activated Yin energy in your body. You should feel more connected to the earth energies. The Yang energy is referred to as light energy. And the light energy comes in through either the crown chakra, so the crown of your head, or through the third eye. Sometimes it's easier to envisage that, but whatever you do, start to imagine a white light coming in through the crown of your head as you inhale. and draw that down to the upper part of your body, so to the upper abdomen. And continue with that until you start to feel a lightness filling your upper body. And once you do that, you'll start to have activated the yang energy. And you're now connected to the sky. However, we don't want to be in two parts. The idea is to blend the yin and the yang energies. So the final step is to reunite the two activated energies of the sky and the earth. So this requires us sending the yang energy down your body to blend with the yin energy. You're inhaling and exhaling. And then we send the blended yin yang energy throughout our body until both our energies are equally balanced and present throughout the entire body. So we feel light but grounded. When you're ready, we'll just take a deep inhale just through your nose. And then just start to sigh it out your mouth. And then when you're ready, we'll just start to move a little bit. So you could move your fingers and your toes, maybe circling your wrists and your ankles. And then maybe if you'd like, you could take a full stretch, so through your arms and your hands all the way down to your feet. When you're ready, and just bringing the arms back over, you can start to bend your knees. Either draw your knees in, move a little side to side. If you do like to roll over onto your side, then do that. And then just when you're ready, we'll just start to come up. We'll just start to find a comfortable seat, bringing the palms together just in front of your heart. So just leaving a little gap just to signify the openness in your heart. So thank you so much for coming along and practicing with me this morning. I hope you enjoyed the yin yang practice that we did. Namaste. Well done, everyone. Okay, I'll stop the recording and then you can unmute yourself.